Okay, so what we're doing is we are working on the problem set from 4-1. So this first set of problems, you're given the fact that the triangles LMC and BJK are congruent. So the first question that we're going to do is number 10, and that is looking for what's congruent for LC, line segment LC. So you look up and you see that from the first triangle, L is the first letter, C is the second letter. So that right there, you just go over and pick the exact same sets from that second triangle, BK. So you look at the first triangle, you go LC, you look at the second triangle and go, okay, for these two to be congruent polygons, it means that the sides and the angles are congruent. So the side LC has got to match up to side BK. So we go line segment LC equal to or congruent to BK. Now, same thing applies with those sets of angles, just match them up. So we can jump down to 16, now we see something a little bit different. So keep in mind, we talked about how order matters when it comes to congruency. So now we have a different triangle, CML. So what we do is we look up at that triangle and we see, okay, well basically it's the same triangle backwards. Okay, so LMC, we go CML. So we look over there, now we've already figured out that L is equal to B, M is equal to J, and C is equal to K. So if CML works, then we just go KJB. So triangle CML is congruent to triangle KJB. Again, so on those other ones, really just matching up the letters. So now I'm going to jump over to number 22 through 29. Now on each one of these, what you want to do is you want to match up the pyramid, and it should look something like that. Okay, so that's the information that's given to you. So you know that polygon ABCD, quadrilateral, is congruent to EFGH. I made these really special drawings for you because I didn't want you guys to miss my awesome handwriting all too much. Okay, so this first one, what we're going to look at is EH. Now, it looks for, the problem is asking on 22 for the length of AD. Okay, so you look over and you can see that A and D, first and the last one. So you look over at E and H, first and the last one. So you try and figure out, now in each one of these, each pyramid has different measurements given. So you want to be able to look at whichever pyramid has that measurement given and match it up with the corresponding parts on the other pyramid. So here we're looking for AD. AD is not given, or else it'd be a really silly question to ask. So we look over at EH. So because again, same position, it's the bottom, and if you look at the names of the quadrilaterals, you see ABCD is congruent to EFGH, first, last, first, last. We see that EH is equal to 335 feet. So we know that AD is also equal to 335 feet. So that's number 22. The rest of them, same exact thing, just matching up those missing parts. Okay, so now I'm going to jump over to this next set of problems. So we're given this triangle, this is a drawing, and we're asked to say whether or not these two triangles, TRK and TUK, can be proven congruent. And in this case, we look at it, and again, when we looked at congruency, we want to make sure that the sides and the angles match up. Now, here we have the issue. Okay, so here what we have is two sides and two angles. So keep in mind that we're on 3-1 yet, so we haven't learned side angle side and side 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 from 3-3. So what we're really looking for is, can we prove that all three angles are the same and all three sides are the same? So here we're given these two angles are the same, and we know that the third angle is the third side is the same. Sorry, sides, not angles. So we know that all three sides are the same, and so we're good with that. So really what we need to look at is the angles. And what we're trying to figure out is whether or not, the big question here, is whether angle K is congruent to angle K. Okay, and so we look right there. We know that T and T are the same. We know that R is equal to U, so we look at K and K. So the question is, do we have anything from section 3 or 4.1, sorry, that says that K and K are congruent? And we do. It's actually up on the board over to your left. It is the third angles theorem. The third angles theorem says that if two angles of two triangles are congruent, then the third angles must be congruent. And we actually did the proof of that in class. You should be able to go back and check your notes from Thursday. So we have this angle and this angle, those are the same. This angle and this angle, those are the same. Therefore, those two must be the same. Okay, and finally, we're going to jump down to those algebra problems. So we're given that ABC is congruent to DEF. And then these problems, they give you several of the different measurements, and they tell you to add them up. So we know that the measure of A is equal to, the measure of angle A is equal to the measure of angle D. Again, we know that because of their position in the statements. They're the first letter of both, therefore the measure of the two angles must be the same. So when we're given that the measure of A, angle A is x plus 10, and the measure of angle D is 2x, we can set them equal to each other. Then algebraically we solve this. We subtract x from both sides, and in doing so we get 10 equals x. Are we done? Not quite. Problem asks for the measure of the angles, not solving for the variable, even though if you look further down the lesson there are those. So we just go and plug it back in. 10 plus 10 equals 20. We also can look at that and go, if we had taken this 10 right here and plugged it into there, we get 2 times 10, and that equals 20 as well. That should adequately address all of the question types in 3.1. Now, I know that I assigned a proof for this section. However, if you need help with those proofs, either go back and watch the video on proofs that I posted a while ago, or simply watch the next video on 3.2. Now 3.2, because we're talking about congruency and proving it, there are actually quite a few proofs. I did one of them for you, so again, if you need help with proofs, if that's what you guys are having trouble with, go ahead, skip to the next video and watch there. You guys better be on your best behavior for Miss Burke, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Take care, And Ms. Burke, thank you very much.